This lesson is an introduction to game theory. We will be examining whether a player, in this case, a firm, has a dominant strategy or not. A game is an activity that requires a participant to follow predetermined rules, in an attempt to defeat an opponent or solve a problem. People engage in games for fun or compensation, which may be monetary. Game theory explains the decision that a firm makes to have a competitive advantage over its competitors in an oligopolistic market. An oligopoly is a market structure where there are few dominant firms. These firms are interdependent as their actions affect one another. Just like a player in a game, a firm has to study the decisions or strategies of its opponents to decide on the actions required to neutralize them. Not responding appropriately could make a firm lose ground to competitors. Whenever a competitor takes an action, the firm will have to react to minimize the effect on its own business. Some of the actions that rivals take that may affect a business include lowering prices, advertising, or reducing output. For example, if a competitor lowers its price, the firm may lose its market share if it does not respond accordingly. A successful advertising by a competitor is also harmful to a firm's sales and profit. Zero-sum and non-zero-sum games. A zero-sum game is one in which the gain of one player equals the loss of the other player. It is called a zero-sum game because the total of the losses and gains will be zero. It is a win-lose game whereby the amount of points or money that one player makes is equivalent to the amount lost by the other player. For example, a win in a football match. This is a zero-sum game because the winner gets the maximum 3 points while the loser misses 3 points. However, there are many situations where the gain of one party is not equal to the loss of the other party. It could be a win-win situation that is mutually beneficial to both parties involved. For example, a draw in the game of football is a non-zero gaming situation as both parties share the points. Another example is when two countries trade with each other based on their comparative advantage, both benefit as each country gets what it cannot manufacture from the other party. Components of the game theory model. A game comprises players, strategies, and payoffs. Number 1, the players. The players take decisions or make choices. In an oligopolistic market, the firms are the players. In this model, we are trying to explain and predict the behaviors of the firms or players. The second component is strategies. These are the potential choices that are available to the players, the firms, e.g., to advertise or not to advertise. Number 3, payoff. This is the outcome or consequence of each combination of strategies by the players. The outcomes of the players' strategies are shown in a schedule or table known as a payoff matrix. The payoff matrix shown displays the profits of two firms, X and Y, when each makes two choices which are, raise price, and, don't raise price. A firm's strategy could be a dominant strategy or a non-dominant strategy. In this lesson, we are going to examine whether a firm has a dominant strategy or not. We will be using an example to explain it clearly. A dominant strategy is the optimal choice for a player, regardless of the actions of its opponents. It is the best choice a firm can make, which is not determined by whatever choice is made by its rivals or competitors. We are going to determine whether firm X or firm Y has a dominant strategy. In the payoff matrix, the first number in each cell, color blue, is the profit of firm X, while the second number, color red, is the payoff of firm Y if each decides to raise price or not to raise price. The actions taken by X are in the rows, color blue, while those of Y are in the columns, color red. Let us first try to find out whether X has a dominant strategy, that is, the best option for firm X whether Y raises its price or not. To determine the strategy of firm X, we will consider the effects of the actions of its opponent, Y, on its profit or payoff. This determines the option that X will choose. So let's start. If Y raises its price, reading along column 3, firm X will make a $10 million profit if it also raises its price. Remember, firm X's payoff is in blue. If Y raises its price, but X does not raise its price, X makes $5 million. Therefore, if firm Y raises its price, it is better for X to also raise its price, since raising its price will produce a higher payoff of $10 million compared to the $5 million it will make if it decides not to raise its price. The strategy here is for X to raise its price if Y raises its price. Now, we want to determine firm X's strategy if Y decides not to raise its price. We will still start with firm Y to ascertain the effect of its action on the payoff of X, as this determines the action X will take. If firm Y does not raise its price, reading along column 4, X will make $7 million if it raises its price. However, if Y does not raise its price and X does not raise its price, X will make a $6 million profit. So the option or strategy that X will choose, when Y decides not to raise its price, is the one with the higher profit of $7 million, which is to raise its price. Is X's strategy a dominant strategy? We will examine its strategy in each case, that is when firm Y raises its price and when it does not raise its price. As discovered earlier, the best strategy for X is to raise its price if Y raises its price. He will get a payoff of $10 million from this option. We also found out that it is better for X to still raise its price if firm Y decides not to raise its price. Firm X's payoff will be $7 million as against $6 million it will make for not also raising its price. In conclusion, the best strategy for X, whether Y raises its price or not, is to raise its price. This means that X has a dominant strategy. The strategy is the same, no matter the action taken by its competitor. Let us first try to find out whether firm Y has a dominant strategy, that is, the best option for firm Y, whether X raises its price or not. To determine the strategy of Y, we will consider the effects of the actions of its opponent, X, on its profit or payoff. If X raises its price, reading along row 3, firm Y will make a $6 million profit if it also raises its price. Y's payoff is in red. If X raises its price, but Y does not raise its price, Y makes $2 million. Therefore, if firm X raises its price, it is better for firm Y to also raise its price, since raising its price will produce a higher payoff of $6 million compared to $2 million it will make if it decides not to raise its price. The strategy of Y is to raise its price if X raises its price. Let us consider Y's strategy if X decides not to raise its price. If firm X does not raise price, reading along row 4, firm Y will make $11 million if it raises its price. However, if firm X does not raise price and Y does not raise its price, firm Y will make a $5 million profit. So the strategy that firm Y will choose when firm X decides not to raise its price is the one with the higher profit of $11 million, which is to raise its own price. Is the strategy of firm Y a dominant strategy? If X raises its price, the best option for Y is to raise its price, since it makes $6 million as against $2 million it will make if it decides not to raise its price. If X does not raise its price, the best option for Y is still to raise its price, which would produce a profit of $11 million as against $5 million it will make if it does not also raise its price. In both situations, the best strategy for Y is to raise its price. That means Y has a dominant strategy, which is raising its price, whether X does or not.